Welcome back to class. Our topic for the day is variation. Our focus will be on the meaning of variation and types of variation, as we intend to dwell on the introductory part of it today. So the question is, what is variation? Variation is simply how one quantity changes when another changes. I don't know if you get it clearly. How a particular quantity, let's say the quantity is Q, how this Q changes whenever R changes, or how this Q changes when P changes. That is what variation represents. Now, the symbol of variation is this. This is the symbol of variation. Don't forget that the word variation sometimes can be referred to as proportion. So, without delay, we'll be looking again on the types of variation. Variation is broadly classified into four types. There are four major types of variation. Number one is direct variation. Direct variation. That is number one. And number two, we have inverse. Inverse variation. Number three, we have joint variation. And number four, we have partial variation. These are the four types of variation available in mathematics. Now, how do we identify variations? How do we know that this question is for direct variation, this one is for inverse variation, this one is for joint variation, and this one is for partial variation? Very simple. Now, for direct variation, you will meet with situations such as this. Maybe X varies directly as Y, with the introduction of the constant term as that is necessary in variation. You have something like this equal to ky. So this is how best to identify that this particular situation is for direct variation. You will hear the word when X varies directly, as you know they are referring to direct variation. And this is the pattern or mathematical representation of direct variation. Take note. Then in the inverse variation, how do we know? Don't forget, in direct variation, whenever there is increase or decrease in one quantity, it also leads to increase and decrease in the other quantity. In an inverse variation, increase or decrease in one quantity leads to decrease. When there is increase in one quantity, it results to decrease in the other quantity. That is for inverse variation. And then you see situations like this, mathematical representation. You have something like this, 1 over y. You know it's inverse. Or when the constant term is introduced, you have something like this, k over y. So this is how best to represent inverse variation. What about joint variation? In joint variation, increase or decrease in one quantity, one thing it does, it results to same increase or decrease in two or more quantities. That is why it is called joint variation. One quantity alone, increase in that quantity or decrease in that quantity, can result to increase or decrease in multiple other quantities. That is joint variation. And mathematically in joint variation, you might have something like this. Maybe that same x, then we have yz. You see, the increase in x is resulting to a multiple increase in other quantities. When the constant term is introduced, we have something like this, kyz. So this is a representation of what we call joint variation. Now, for the partial variation, you will check the comment section on what the partial variation represents. Meanwhile, you will try this as an assignment. Which of the following expresses direct variation? A, we have this. B, we have this. C, we have this. And D, we have the word no. Make your choice wisely. See you in our next class. And do not forget to share if you found this topic interesting.